You know that feeling when you open a spreadsheet and it's just staring back at you? I'm talking about one of those massive SEO exports, row after row of keywords.
The wall of data, it's terrifying.
Exactly. You've got 1,000 lines, and they all look vaguely similar. You've got best running shoes for jogging, shoes to run in. And you realize, if I have to manually sort this into a content strategy, I'm going to lose my mind.
Or worse, you don't sort it. You just start writing content for every single line, and suddenly you've cannibalized your own traffic, confused Google, and wasted months of work.
Right. And that's the topic for today. We're looking at a really fascinating workflow, specifically how to take a raw list of, say, 1,000 keyword variants and use large language models, or LLMs, to turn that mess into unique, high-value article ideas.
And just to be clear right off the bat, this isn't about asking ChatGPT to write me 1,000 articles.
Thank goodness.
No. This is about the architecture phase. It's about using AI as a strategist before it ever writes a single word of prose. Because the problem with those 1,000 keywords isn't a lack of data. It's a lack of structure.
So let's break down the problem first. Why is having 1,000 keyword variants such a headache? I mean, isn't more data better?
In theory, yes. But in practice, raw keyword lists are incredibly noisy. Let's stick with your running shoes example. In the old days, you might have filtered by search volume and just picked the top 10. But today, search intent is everything. Best running shoes and top-rated sneakers for runners are effectively the same search intent.
Right? If I write 2 different articles for those, Google looks at me like I'm crazy.
Exactly. You're competing with yourself. The challenge is that a human can look at 5 keywords and group them easily. But a human cannot look at 1,000 keywords and consistently group them without their brain melting. It takes days.
And that's where the LLM comes in. But wait, LLMs have limits, right? You can't just paste a spreadsheet with 10,000 rows into a prompt window and say, fix this.
You hit the nail on the head. That's the bottleneck. Context windows. Even with the newer models, dumping raw CSV data is messy. The approach we're discussing today involves a smarter workflow. It's about batching and iterative processing. You're essentially teaching the AI to act as an editor.
Okay, so walk me through this. I have my list, 1,000 keywords, all related to, let's say, home gardening. It's a mess. What is the AI actually doing to fix this?
The first step is semantic clustering. This is where LLMs shine way brighter than old-school SEO tools. Old tools look for matching words, strings of text. LLMs look for matching meaning.
So it knows that growing tomatoes and nightshade care might be related even if they don't share the same words?
Precisely. So, the process involves feeding the LLM batches of these keywords and asking it to group them by intent. It looks at the list and says, okay, these 15 keywords? These are all asking the same question, just in different ways. Group A, these 20 keywords? These are about tools. Group B.
That saves, what, a week of work?
Easily. But here is where it gets really cool. It's not just about grouping them. The real magic, and this is what separates a generic blog from a media empire, is the next step. Converting that group into a unique article idea.
That's the part that intrigued me. Because usually, we just stop at the keyword. We say, okay, the keyword is best garden shovels. Done.
Right. And that leads to boring content. The workflow we're analyzing suggests taking that cluster of keywords, let's say it includes ergonomic shovels, shovels for seniors, and lightweight digging tools, and asking the LLM, based on these user searches, what is the single most comprehensive article title and outline that satisfies all of them?
Oh, I see. So you're synthesizing the intent into a concept.
Yes. Instead of best shovels, the LLM might suggest the ultimate guide to pain, free gardening, ergonomic tools for every age.
That is significantly better.
It's better because it's human-centric. You're using the robot to be more human. You're taking the raw data of what people are searching for, which is really just a proxy for their anxieties and needs, and you're synthesizing a solution.
It's funny you put it that way. using the robot to be more human. Because usually, people fear that using AI in SEO just means flooding the internet with garbage.
And let's be honest, a lot of people are doing that. They take the 1,000 keywords, they run a script to write 1,000 generic 500-word posts, and they publish. That is the landfill approach to the internet.
The landfill approach. I love that, and I hate it.
It works for about 2 weeks until Google creates a new update and wipes you off the map. The method we're talking about is the opposite. It's using the LLM to reduce the amount of content you produce, but increase the density of value.
So instead of 1,000 cheap articles, you might end up with, 50?
Maybe 50, maybe 100. But they are 100 pillar pages. They are authoritative, because the AI has ensured that every nuance found in those 1,000 variants is covered inside those few articles. You aren't missing anything, but you aren't repeating anything either.
It's efficiency, but it's also elegant.
It is elegant. It's programmatic SEO, but with a soul.
Let's talk about the mechanics for a second for the people listening who actually want to try this. You mentioned batching earlier. Is this something I need to know how to code to do? Or can I just do this in a chat interface?
You can do it in a chat interface if your list is small, say, under 100 keywords. You paste them in, give a strong prompt about clustering by intent, and you're good. But for the 1,000 or 10,000 scale, you really need a structured tool or a script. You need something that can loop through the data.
Because otherwise you're just copy-pasting all day.
Right. And you risk the AI forgetting the rules halfway through. Consistency is key here. You want the criteria for what makes a unique article to be the same for row 1 as it is for row 1,000.
That brings up an interesting point about uniqueness. How does the AI know if an idea is actually unique?
That's down to the prompt engineering. You have to explicitly tell the LLM, if the intent of this group overlaps significantly with the previous group, merge them. You have to give it permission to destroy data.
Permission to destroy data. That's tough for hoarders.
It is. We love our keywords. We think every keyword is a potential customer. But in the modern search landscape, authority wins. One incredible article that answers the question perfectly is worth more than 10 mediocre ones. The LLM helps you be ruthless. It looks at blue running shoes and red running shoes and says, does the color actually change the function? No? Merge them. Write one article about color options.
Versus, does the terrain change the function? Trail versus road?
Exactly. The LLM says, yes, distinct physics, distinct needs, separate articles. It's doing that logic reasoning at scale.
It sounds like we're moving away from keyword research and moving toward intent modeling.
That's a beautiful way to phrase it. Keywords are just artifacts of how people type. Intent is what they actually want. The LLM is the translator.
I want to zoom out a bit. If everyone starts doing this, if everyone uses AI to perfectly cluster and structure their content, doesn't the bar just get incredibly high?
It does. And it should.
So how do you win in that world?
You win by what you put inside the structure. The AI builds the skeleton. It says, here is the perfect outline for that gardening article. But you, the human expert, you have to add the stories. You have to add the photos of your actual garden. You have to add the opinion that maybe the AI wouldn't have.
So the AI is the architect, but you still have to be the interior designer.
Or the carpenter. The AI clears the jungle and lays the foundation. It stops you from building your house on a swamp, but you still have to build the house. This workflow just removes the paralysis. You know that feeling of, I don't know what to write about?
Oh, intimately.
This kills that. You start with 1,000 messy data points, and you end with a clear, prioritized roadmap of 50 headlines. You wake up on Monday morning, and you know exactly what to execute.
That is a massive psychological shift. It turns SEO from a guessing game into a production line.
A smart production line. And I think that's the key takeaway for any technology right now. Are you using it to do the same old thing faster? Or are you using it to do something you couldn't do before? No human wants to manually cluster 1,000 keywords. It's drudgery.
It's punishment.
It is. So we let the AI take the punishment, and we keep the creativity.
I love that. It's about reclaiming the creative part of the job.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap up, is there a trap here? Is there a way this goes wrong?
The trap is trusting the output blindly. Sometimes the LLM hallucinates a connection. It might think Java the coding language and Java the coffee are the same cluster because the context was weak.
Ah, the classic homonym problem.
Right? So you cannot just auto-publish. You need a human review step. You need to scan that list of article ideas and say, wait, that doesn't make sense. But reviewing 50 titles takes 10 minutes. Organizing the raw data would have taken 10 days. You're still winning.
It's a sanity check, not a manual labor shift.
Exactly.
This has been really clarifying. I think a lot of people look at these tools and just see a write button. But the think button or the organize button is actually much more powerful.
The write button is a commodity. The organize button is a competitive advantage.
That is a quote for the wall. The organize button is a competitive advantage.
I'll stand by it.
We've gone from staring at a spreadsheet of doom to having a clear, actionable content calendar. It feels like we've solved a major piece of the puzzle here.
We've tamed the beast.
We have. As we sign off, I want our listeners to think about their own data piles. What list are you sitting on that are just gathering dust because they're too big to handle? Maybe it's customer feedback, maybe it's search terms, maybe it's product inventory.
The answer is probably hiding in there, waiting for an LLM to find the pattern.
A fascinating thought. The answers are there. We just needed a better flashlight. Thanks for breaking this down with me today.
Always a pleasure.
And to everyone listening, good luck with your spreadsheets. We'll see you next time.